went up minus 3.9 and there's not even a fire on. 12:46. Just heading outside. Come on. And of course the slowpoke does his thing on his time. Nice out. It's only about minus 7. Had a little bit of snow, but not much. Not much at all. Anyway, gonna go in the garage and got some work to do. Got some work to do out here too. Got a couple boxes of stuff I want to sort. The old race car door, which I think I'm gonna clean up and hang up in the garage again. Yep. 510. Brand new fiberglass. Of course, my ramps have fallen over and they're starting to tear through the tarp, so I'll have to get to that right away. I was hoping to play with this a little bit this winter. Haven't got all the parts yet, but I finally did get the model number. Haven't needed this baby, which is good because my grandson stole the key, was playing with it somewhere, and we haven't found it yet. But that's the least of the worries. This is the snowblower I took all apart and went to a parts shop, and they gave me the fuel line that I needed, and I rebuilt the carb on it and put it in, and the fuel line is pinched shut, so I had to go and get yet another piece of fuel line. Something else I want to do this spring is when I take it apart, I'm going to open this up a little bit and I'm going to reseal the wire there, or I'll get some of that liquid tape. And of course my mobility scooter is dead, so I haven't been using it. Luckily I haven't needed it too much, but see if I can clean it up enough to read it. Slow SRT is mentioning American Graffiti, and something specifically, a line from that blonde Debbie. Well, her name is, the actress's name is Candy Clark, and how do I know? How do I remember such trivial things? Because she signed my mobility scooter a couple years ago at the local car, at one of the big annual car show. That one's hard to read. That's George Barris. There we go, that's a little better. It was getting reflections. Yep, the inventor of the Batmobile, Monkeymobile, Munstermobile, and numerous other famous movie and TV cars. Both signed my mobility scooter. Anyway, Daisy's sitting here impatiently waiting. Kyle never did put the lawnmower away. And a couple other boxes of stuff I want to sort. But, empty trailer can mean one thing. I could do a dump run. Well, son of a... Can't open the big door. It's hitting something. And I think I know what it's hitting. So I'll go around the long way. Only reason I was going that way is so I could open the door and start throwing some things into the trailer. Because I got a wheelbarrow full of junk in there. Yeah, he's fairly quick. We used to just have the two white ones for a long time. Belle, the female, and Bo. They had a litter before we got them from a young girl who's was in a family that was splitting, and she was having to move from where she was living into an apartment. Couldn't take the dogs with her, and she tried to adopt them out and then was going to take them to the local humane society, and that's when Amber saw the note. She had posted a little sign asking for help trying to find homes for the two dogs. We went to look at one of them. Actually went to look at Bella, the miniature Eskimo. And Bo was the one that just grabbed our hearts as well. Bella had been beaten and mistreated by, I think, by the girl's younger brother. So she's still a little skittish, but that kind of dog usually is anyway, that breed of dog. They used to play like you just saw Crew and Bo playing, but when we got Crew, and we got him, he was only 6 or 7 weeks old, and oh, hang on, YouTube police. Don't listen. Close your ears. There we go, I'm safe again. Okay, well, I am going to get a fire going, even though it's not too bad out. Oh, might as well leave that fan on. I left the fans on and a good fire going the other night when I came in. Here we go. It's finished. It's stained. It's not as dark as I wanted, but it's good enough for now. If Brad wants it darker, we can always put it darker because I didn't seal over the stain. And now back to why the door won't open. I have the feeling this is the culprit right here. My little tiny vise on my old medical table. I had moved the table the other night when I pulled the engine back out, and I put the medical table, pushed it back, and I figured I didn't check like I normally do to make sure that that it's clear of the door. Ah, crap. Problem number 2. That one's easily fixed. Done. Okay. The door is open. do a little bit today on the car, but I got some other things to do too. Let's see if we can get the light on this a little better here. Starting from the front of the engine bay here. Okay, there's the cross member, and you see got a couple of holes in it. That's the transmission, where the transmission goes, and I had to notch it. And you can see here, this notch is for the speedometer cable, and that notch is to lower the mount. And when I cut it apart, this thing is honeycomb braced inside of the frame. So it's kind of interesting, because I had that same issue here when I notched this out. So overall, not a bad thing. That took me some time, because working through that little hole. Combination of small air grinder and my 4.5-inch grinder, and I worked at it in little pieces at a time, and had the engine in and out a couple times to make sure the last time it was in I didn't have it quite, the notch for the transmission mount quite deep enough. So I put the motor in, checked it, knew I had to drop another. Oh, excuse me. I'm normally a night hawk, and I'm not even sleeping at night right now, so had to drop it another 1/2 inch. So I'm down. I've made templates, cardboard templates. I just have to dig out some plate, or if I can't find any plate around, then I'll have to do something about it. Just hold on a minute. I'm gonna put the camera down here. See if I can find a place to put it where it'll stay relatively level. And we can talk while I'm getting the fire going. Okay, so just talking to, well, call it talking, emailing to a friend of mine that's officially the unofficial secretary. See if I can get this camera set better. Maybe I should have brought the tripod over. He's officially the unofficial secretary of our car club. We call it unofficial because we don't do minutes, we don't do official meetings. We just a bunch of guys, several guys that like Datsuns and other cars, and we're due for a meeting, which means you get together with them and usually sit in someone's garage, talk cars. We haven't had one since December, and I didn't make it to that one because I had a big family due to go to. One of my cousins only gets into town every second Christmas, so only see him every 2 years. And I haven't hosted the guys here for several years because I've always had crappy health and struggling with getting the house ready. It's always been a kind of disarray because the last couple years, well, it's always been in disarray, but the last couple years it's been a little bit worse because you know, with my health having some trouble and my mom's had a rough go of it the last 3 years, and I've been concentrating on that, so not spending time in the garage to get it ready. So stuff just kind of piled up in here. And now I'm in a place where just a few minutes of cleaning and I can have the guys over for a meeting. So I'm looking forward to that. We lost one member last July. The club is called DAM, Datsun Auto Club of Manitoba. And the member we lost was a pastor of one of the churches in Winnipeg, and he was chosen by his old alma mater, or whatever you call it, alma mater, to open up a new branch of the college, Bible college, that he graduated from out in British Columbia. So he took advantage of that. So basically our damn pastor moved away. Kind of a eclectic group of guys. One of them is vice principal of a school. When he was one of the founding members. There was two basically that started it, Todd and Brock. Todd is the vice principal. Brock is a 40-year-old kid that he's worked off and on at Datsun or Nissan dealers, and he knows his stuff really well. Brock is the one that I got Daisy. We tried to get Daisy ready for his wedding. He got married last year for the first time. And I'm not sure if he's working right now or not. I don't think he is. His email said he just had his tonsils out too, so, which they don't usually do that often anymore. Who else is in the group? We have one guy, Dave, who he works in the aerospace industry, building turbine engines. Then we have Jason, who does flooring, and had a really nice 240Z. In some of my earliest videos you might see I think it's in one of the first video or two that's not actually a Grandpa's Garage. There were a couple of them of our cruises, and you might see a red 240Z with a custom license plate on it. He actually he rolled that car last spring and rode it off. A bit of road rage not really sure what happened, but he and some other guy were wanting the same lane at the same time, and they didn't hit, but needless to say, on dry pavement, he rolled the car. Luckily, he only got, some cuts and bruises, because the roof collapsed all the way down on the driver's side. Who else is there? There's Cam, who works in a printing shop, I believe. Brock has a nephew that Joel, that comes out to our meetings when he can, and he doesn't have a Datsun, but he has most of Brock's Datsuns in his yard. Lives in the country, and Brock has, I think, 19 cars or something. Brock is the kind of guy that every time one comes up, if he's like me, he tries to save them all. Except he actually does stuff with his. Who am I missing? Scott. Scott's our oldest teenager. He must be 70 now. He's still racing. He races a Mazda RX-7 on the road course at Gimli in the summer, and he's actually digging out his old Ice Racer 240Z to run a race in March, and then there's talk of him and one of my other friends, Tim, who is my biggest rival on the track, friendly rivalry. He's my best friend for racing. They're thinking of putting a car or two together for the Chump Car races, because they're actually going to host one here in Manitoba this summer. Well, Scott is a semi-retired counselor, like a child and family services counselor for years, and a family counselor type of thing. Tim, who is a partially retired truck driver, long-distance truck driver, he's cut down to half of what he used to do. He used to run 2 weeks and then take a week off, and then now he's just doing 1 in 3 trips instead of 2 out of 3. Tim is the guy that I had the most fierce races with, a lot of fun to race with, because we had identical styles, and we both ran 510s, and he set his up really firm, high suspension, and I set mine up softer with a lower suspension, and he ran a 2-liter, and I think he had ran a cam and everything, and I ran a 1600 that didn't have a cam, but I had done other little massaging things and balancing and blueprinting, lightning flywheels and stuff like that. And we could run together. He had more torque, but my car, I could handle the corners a little better. Not much by, with Tim and I, it was usually whoever made the last mistake finished second. They're going to come over, probably in about 1.5, 2.5 weeks. We'll be here on a Friday or Saturday evening, and I don't know if any of them want to be on video, but I'm thinking I might just bring the camera out and set it up and just video the guys all sitting around armchair racing and bullshitting, talking cars. It's usually a good time, 3 or 4 hours. We'll sit around the fire, and a couple of the guys will have a couple of beers. A couple of them don't drink, and nothing's pushed on anybody. It's just good friendship. I'm looking forward to that. Well, this looks like it's getting going pretty good here. So that torch works well for it. See, she's going. And also, if you look here, the wood, a lot of that's plywood. I found a source of scrap lumber for firewood, and it's free. The company Just throws it out there, and they have a couple of bins on wheels when they clean their shop out. I think they make stairs, stairways and stuff. And they throw their stuff out there for anyone to take free firewood. It's better than throwing it in the landfill. And the last time I went, about a third of the stuff I got was like offcuts from the stringers from stairs, so it was 2-inch thick. But a lot of it was plywood, and I tried to get the thicker stuff, but a fair amount of it was still 1/4 inch, which burns very fast. I get good heat out of it, but you go through it fast. But it's free. All I got to do is go down with the trailer and load up as much as I can. Kyle and I went 2 or 3 weeks ago and got some. And now looks like we're due for some more. Anyway, gonna let you go, and I'm out in the garage getting it heated up. Gonna do some things, and maybe I'll turn the camera on again, and just let you know what I'm doing. Catch you later.